Sponsored by Panasonic. Delivering smart factory solutions for any mix, any volume. Introducing the new NPM W2S. Learn more at panasonicfa.com.
Welcome to the MIRTEC booth here today at SMTAi. I'm joined by my old friend, Brian D'Amico. Good to see you again, Brian.
Pleasure as always, Trevor. Nice to see you too.
Yeah. So back at Apex, we looked at the first version of the MV3 Omni. We're now looking at a production version, but one that's got some bells and whistles added to it. So tell us a little bit about it.
I like that, bells and whistles, you're right. You're right, so we did have our prototype at Apex. And the reason for that is we actually recognized that the industry required to have a lower cost offline unit. A couple of reasons for that is one, if you're doing batch assembly and you don't want to be doing inline inspection, bottom line is who wants to spend the money for an inline system? If you can get all of the performance in a desktop unit, you could save costs on that, and you could also, if you have inline systems as well as an offline system, you could perhaps create all your programs on a desktop unit offline without impacting the efficiency of your lines, right? So that's where we came up with that first system, and we wanted to see how the market kind of rang out with that. And quite frankly, did very, very well. It was well received. So since then, we now have our production-ready systems. So we sold about 50 machines so far. They've been doing great. And we have all of the performance that we have in our inline systems now available on a desktop. So that's kind of exciting. Nobody else has got this out in the industry right now. And you know, MIRTEC, we like to be the first when it comes to a technologically advanced solution for customer issues, right?
Yeah. So, but you've added some extra things to this version to deal with basically semiconductor devices which are reflective. Can we talk a bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we see here in the industry is actually, we're seeing a convergence between SMT and also wafer level devices. So in order to handle these things, one of the problems that all of the vendors here have got is with wafer level devices, these are at times very reflective devices. So we're talking about bare die, right? We're talking about silicon. So when you take and you shine a light at that, you're using moire, which is the most accurate means of inspecting and getting 3D profile characteristics of the device, the light reflects away, and you end up with no information. So what we invested in is a new solution with moire, where with our projectors we're using what's called a blue LED projection technology. Quite frankly, it's been like a year coming down the pike. But what this allows us to do is to characterize highly reflective devices. Now that also helps in looking at solder joints and other things that are reflective on the board, but realistically there's no way to deal with that with just standard moire or laser. It just doesn't work. So this new technology now is introduced in our MV3 Omni. We've also introduced it across our entire platform, from our top of the line MV9 system to our MV7 Omni and MV6 Omni as well, and it's doing very well. What we see is this convergence. Now, we're not seeing as much of that as you would expect in the States and in Europe, but it is filtering in. The majority of our business, Asia, of course. We're selling 10 to 1, right? Asia, we do very, very well. But Asia tends to be on the forefront of these technological changes. So you and I talked about advanced packaging and how this convergence is taking a long time to get to the States. I am seeing more of that now with my customers, and it is coming. So what MIRTEC is trying to do here is really to recognize the fact that this is going to be an issue that people are going to have to deal with here, our customers. So having the foresight to take care of that in advance, in advance of getting those type of products here in the States, that's what it's all about. Addressing problems before they occur, right? Before they occur.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think it's really interesting. And I'm also noticing that in a lot of these high mix factories, what they're doing is you're getting them you have your production line, but then you're having islands adjacent to the line for special projects. So they might not be running reflective CSPs on every job, but where they do, they could take them offline to something like this, do the inspection and take them back.
Yes. And by the way, you see that? That's so that you can't get your hand stuck in a machine, so that's
really?
perfect. That's called a light curtain. You did a good job.
Yeah, so this is really quite an interesting idea, Brian. I mean, if you go into a lot of these factories today, you'll see, especially the ones that are doing high mix, you see islands running parallel with the production lines, where people can take product off, and they're not doing CSPs, reflective CSPs in every production run, so they can go off, do them in these small islands and bring them back to the line. A good application for it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I was saying before, when it comes to is having the desktop unit like this, as well as the inline systems, the nice part about it is the machines are 100% identical, right? So with the guts of the machine. So we have what's called our OmniVision system, and that OmniVision system is our 15 megapixel top-down camera, 10 megapixel side view cameras, and our DLP blue LED lighting system from Huawei. All that is the same between our MV6 Omni, MV7 Omni, and MV3 Omni. So for those types of island type applications, let's say for instance you're dealing with new product introduction. You can take that and you can run the inspection process here offline on a desktop unit. If you get the contract or if you start doing higher volumes, you then take and migrate the programs to our inline systems. So it's 100% compatible. So that really gives customers the flexibility to deal with, cradle to grave. New product introduction to where you might be doing high speed inspection or high volume inspection or high volume manufacturing. That can be handled very easily. Flexibility is key, right? And that's really what we wanted to address here. There are other desktop units out there that try to do 3D, but it's not the same. There's no compatibility between an inline system and a desktop system. That's very unique, and that's something that MIRTEC has strived to do, is to try to offer that technologically advanced solution that handles the cradle to grave aspects of the production environment.
Right. I mean, so you are offering the Blue Moray in your inline systems as well?
Absolutely, yep.
I know you're always coming out with new innovative products, Brian, and I think wish you the very best with the MV3 Omni. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Trevor. I appreciate it.